it's the best profession to be in and it's the worst profession to be in. If you have the capacity to be able to take the best and the worst, I think it makes you a very, I don't know, it can do a lot for you as a person.
I did not know that. I was never so confident, and I feel like I have become confident. I've become the kind of person that I am. Where is this firmness, this strongness coming from? It's all the people that I'm surrounded with.
Hi, this is Shahid Kapoor.
And this is Mrunal THakur.
And please do catch our film Jersey.
In your nearby theatres on the 14th of April.
And watch our interview on
PeepingMoon.com.
It's time to don jerseys with the initials of Shahid and Mrunal because today we have with us Shahid Kapoor and Mrunal THakur for the jersey interviews.
Shahid, when Jersey's trailer came out, I remember this scene where you slapped Shahid. No, I'm not going to the slap and Kabir Singh, don't worry. That is not my question. You ended up showing a very stark point of view of two characters who are probably at this breaking end of sorts. Your emotional request is this line which follows कि मुझे बस इतने ही पैसे चाहिए से to get that jersey, and you are trying to make him realize, I haven't seen the films of course, that the importance of money and the responsibilities. This financial struggle when you show it on screen with two characters, and this time it was, as I said, the reverse. What was the thought? Because I liked that part of it more. People were like, "Arey, we are doing the Kabir Singh redux." I'm like, no, just look at it the other way. This time he's at the receiving end, and there's so much vulnerability on his face when he says it's just like those few.
You know, sometimes when people really like a film, it stays with them, and then when the other film comes, when they see a promo as opposed to seeing the whole film, maybe that image is still in front of them, right? So even I was wondering, I was like, I feel that these characters are very different from each other. Of course, there is an internal intensity and angst to Arjun, which makes him a dramatic character. So maybe people feel that in the eyes, they feel that something like that. But I mean, if you see the story and if you see the way this character behaves and the way, you know, their relationship is, it's actually pretty much the opposite, if I can say.
That's pretty much opposite, a role reversal.
Yeah, kind of. And you want to say something?
I know, I just feel like पहले दिखाया नहीं है, लेकिन ये होता है, you know. और क्यों नहीं दिखाया? क्योंकि शायद people thought that maybe it's not the right way. I think the gist of this film is to be relatable. I mean, what if my husband in the middle of the, you know, relationship would say कि मैंने job नहीं करना, मैं तो cricket खेलूँगा, या मेरे को painter बनना है, या मैंने sky diving करनी है. I have a child who's going to look after I mean, I'm being practical, and it's just the emotions. I'm excited for you to watch it. Like, why Vidya takes that step and slaps him. Why is Arjun the way he is, or why is Vidya the way she is? So I'm really happy that this thing, the role reversal thing, has happened in this film, because ye hota hai.
Shahid, I'll take this with you. When we talk about jersey, sportsmanship, it's difficult to ace any sport, be it any. Like, it's easier said than done. कि अरे bat पकड़ के photo खिंचवाना. I was reading comments, but to even just get a stance right on the field, and you prepping and doing it. What was the first thought for you? Do you thought that, okay, people might compare you with somebody on, like, you know, okay, this is the way he's playing, that's how he's looking, or you modeled it on somebody when you got this? If you have to play cricketer, the first thought.
So for me, you know, everything feeds off the character, you know, so I don't create this, you know, I don't have a outside in kind of point of view कि कैसे लगेगा, लोग क्या बोलेंगे. वो तो जो होगा वो, you can never predict that, you know. You approach it from the point of view of who is this guy, what is his personality. पहले तो, you know, we are showing a batsman in the 90s who was spectacular in the 80s when he was, you know, representing his college team, and you know, he was very, very popular and he was very, very good. And now he is at a later stage wanting to come back to it. So what would be the difference between a young guy in his early 20s in the 80s, because cricket has evolved in the last 25 years, right? How would his approach be body language wise in terms of personality here? Technically, जो सीखना है वो तो सीखना ही है, and you know, like you said, you can never really learn a sport completely, even if you prep for months, because people do it for a lifetime, right? But I have played a lot of cricket in school. I played cricket, and I was a batsman in college, and so I have played a lot of cricket. So at least I'm familiar with the sport. I understand, and I follow it passionately, right? So I'm very observant of cricket, and I really like to get into the minor details, like your stance, and where is your chin, where is your shoulder, where is your eye when the ball is coming in, and we took a very, I think, a very good decision to not do anything in special effects or in post. Everything that we did was authentic, because there are so many micro reactions that happen when a ball, actually a season ball, a real season ball, not those ones that are painted, but like a real leather season ball, which I got busted with, and I got
yeah, that
multiple
epic.
stitches because it just opened up, and that's what it does to you, So when it's coming, the look in your eye is different than when you know कि अभी ये ना बाद में डाल देंगे, ऐसे कर लेते हैं बस, So we tried our best to make it as authentic as possible, and it was a struggle, because as good as you might think that you are, you're never going to be good enough, right? So it was a lot of work which we put in. I practiced for 3-4 months before I started shooting the film. Then COVID happened in the middle of the film. Then I had to practice for another 3 months to get back to it, because there was a 7-month break between the first and the second schedule. And all that on one hand. But to me, the emotionality of Arjun is actually what Jersey is about. Cricket is a backdrop. Jersey is not a film which is just about what happens on the field. It's about what happens on the field and what happens behind the scenes. I feel this so often कि लोगों को कई बार ये नहीं समझ में आता कि you see somebody and you forget that वो भी इंसान है, उनके भी घर है, उनका मम्मी है, पापा हैं, बच्चे हैं, फैमिली है, वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज तो निभानी पड़ती है ना. So I think this has a lot of that, and I think the heart of Jersey actually is talking about life. It's not really, cricket is just a tool, but the metaphor of the film is, do I just want to keep living every day, or do I want to feel alive? And that's, I think, Arjun's journey, and that's the struggle that they have. That, are we just going to continue in a marriage, or are we actually going to feel like we are life partners? So there's so many things that come in there, and there's a lot of love. I think Vidya and Arjun, if you see them in the younger days, and even if you see them there, and the way the film progresses, it's very like, in a promo you can only see very small little thingies, right?
As you said, promo is not the right tool.
It's just to whet the appetite.
Yeah.
But the complete, because marriage and these kind of things are complex things, right? And there's a lot that goes into it. So this is a story which will take you through that journey. I hope that's what we feel.
Yeah.
Before I take the next question of Mrunal, I wanted to ask you, Shahid. Almost nearly for 2.5 years, you lived up Arjun. You were in the character, more or less. I would say at least whatever the time of shoot span. Does it become difficult or easy to emotionally hold it, as you just said?
That was the biggest challenge, actually.
To feel the same emotion every day, and even after a break, you have to rechannel it from the point where you left it.
Yeah, that was the toughest part. So what we actually did was that we hadn't finished the 90s portion, and then in the middle of that we had COVID, which happened, and then so we started with the younger portion, because we felt we'll start with fresh energy, and once we feel like we're connecting back into the film, and because the look and the feel and the age is different, then we'll go back to the other one. So we kind of had to walk through that in a very sensitive manner to make sure everybody feels like they're back into the film, because that's very important.
Well, what about you also, if I have to ask you, because there are so many projects which are also going on simultaneously, and there is this one particular film, how you hold on to that you're not just the look part, but emotionally how to just hold on to the character and not let it get swayed away?
I feel like we as actors don't spend enough time with ourselves. And I think this COVID time for me allowed me to understand Vidya even more. So I feel like that time, in order to understand why she's doing certain things, I felt more connected. Yes, it was difficult for me to hold emotionally onto it, but I realized that every day I discovered certain new things about, and I have observed my mother very closely for this character that I've played. All the things that she's done, those small nuances that I've added in the film, I hope that audience are able to resonate and see and feel those moments. But I felt like this time was very important for me to not just understand the character, but me and what I can offer to Vidya.
Shahid, you worked with Pankaj sir after decade, I guess, almost a decade. how was it having your father on sets, considering the fact when you have such a good actor right in front of you, and you not just have to perform, you have to play as well.
Yeah.
The ball and the eye coordination. How was it with the dad?
No, with
When
him
to
it's
react
mostly
or not?
scenes, you know, because he's playing my coach.
That's us.
And I don't know, I felt very different this time when I worked with Dad. I felt like both of us were men. And I think I was a bit of a kid the last time I worked with him. But I felt very different. There was a lot of love for him. There was a lot of. I think both of us were very focused into our characters, you know, and I think like we were like giving each other our space and allowing ourselves to stay where we need to stay. In the middle of the day, at some point when we felt like, most of the stuff is done up to the shorts bache, we'd sit, we'd have a cup of tea together, we'd chat with each other. But he'd let me be if I was in the zone. I'd obviously let him be because he's always in the zone, you know. So it felt like, you know, it felt like a bit coming of age because, you know, I've also been doing this for 20 years and he kind of gave me that feeling like, you're a professional actor. So, you know, you do what you're doing. And, you know, so, but the best part was that we spent a lot of time offset, you know, because we were traveling, we were shooting in Dehradun, Chandigarh, you know, and sometimes in Bombay, everybody's so busy. You don't get so much time to spend with each other, but there after pack up, we were all together, you know?
Yeah.
And we could just walk across to each other, eat a meal together, chat about stuff. And so for me, that's my best memory of Jersey, you know, father-son time.
So sweet.
And I cherish it a lot, even with my son. I cherish father-son time a lot. Son and daughter, both, but I mean, we're talking about dad, so
Dad, yeah.
that's
So,
my
yeah,
connection.
guys, just for the reference, please.
No, I mean, actually,
Yeah.
with, girls are always, you know, dad's favorite.
That I think goes without saying.
Yeah, so that you can, it's very difficult to deal and find that balance. But it's just great to have father and son time and to have him in the film, for him to agree to do the role. And his presence is just, it adds so much value. You know, and
She directs you again. I really do.
let's see where he's at in his head right now, you know, I mean, but it's just, you know, when you stand with an actor who is so good at what he does, it's very enriching to share the frame with him. I feel very nourished and enriched every time I share the frame with him.
How about you, Mrunal? Like when you have a cast as such, we have Shahid with over 2 decades of experience of relentlessly working and giving the films. You have a Pankaj sir on set. How does it feel? Is it like that, oh my god, the dream come true moment kind of thing?
God, I'll tell you my first day with Pankaj sir. I was very nervous.
Don't tell me you did it.
Which was the first scene that you did?
I think with the fight, when
Oh, the funny scene.
The funny scene. And I had to speak like a different language. So
Were you able to?
Very interestingly,
Yes,
she's playing
I'm
a Telugu girl in the
Telugu
film. I'm playing a
girl.
Punjabi guy, she's playing a Telugu girl.
Yes.
So she was actually speaking in Telugu.
And I had to like scold. So when you scold in Telugu, you just like "Drrrr." And Pankaj sir comes in and he gets very angry, okay? And that was so beautiful. Sometimes I was like, क्या हो रहा है मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है अच्छा okay am I and that time he was like let's do he just started his lines okay and I just kept looking at him I said oh we're rehearsing the lines. It was so natural. I was like I just kept looking at him. He's like bolo and I was like that was me. But what a fun man and what a talented man to work
Is
with.
he more funny to work with than Shahid? Like,
Listen, I must tell you, when Pankaj sir and Shahid were there on set, it did not feel like there is a father and son on set. He was a coach, and Shahid was Arjun. So, the best thing about Pankaj sir, I'll tell you, he just went to the director, and I was, I have this thing, like I keep observing everybody. He just said, sir, I surrender you, aapko jaisa karna hai karo. First take, he will modulate in a certain way. Second take was something else. Third take was even like, it just kept going better and better. And Gowtam sir is thinking, yaar, ye bhi acha hai, wo bhi acha hai, ye bhi acha hai. It's like, this is what I want to do. So effortless and different in every take, which is very rare. It's very rare to see now. So I was very mesmerized by his presence on set. And with Shahid was really like the Dehradun part when we were shooting at Doon School. We were quarantined. We were so scared of
ये छुप छुप के
COVID.
फोटोशूट्स करते रहती थी वहाँ पे मैं ऐसे सुबह उठता था बाहर में से बैठ के ना नाश्ता खा रहा हूँ There was a lot of commotion on the right side in that cottage because my cottage was little like this and then her cottage was I could see down like I was the first. So मैं वहाँ देख रहा हूँ कि यार आज तो break day है ये हो क्या रहा है और Mrunal's team is running around everything. मतलब यार ये क्या हो रहा है कुछ problem हो गया किसी को COVID हो गया scene क्या है Mrunal photoshoot कर रही है photoshoot. She did some 6 photoshoots in that schedule. No, I'll tell you what. हम सब इतने desperate हो गए थे ना घर बैठे बैठे कि just getting out it was like photoshoot भी कर लो कुछ अच्छा खाना भी खा लो सब अभी कर लो because God knows
किसी को उसमें वैसे नहीं पता था क्या होने वाला है.
Yeah, and trust me, I think that Dehradun schedule was like so for me. I've discovered so many things about me. I did not know that I was never so confident, and I feel like I have become confident. I've become the kind of person that I am. Where is this firmness, this strongness coming from? It's all the people that I'm surrounded with. And you know, sometimes when you have like Gowtam sir or Shahid or you know Pankaj sir, they always tell you ki, it feels good inside. You go home and you be like yes, like you stare at the fan and be like अच्छा किया आज. पर जब वो मारना था तो मेरी हालत खराब हो गई क्योंकि I have never raised my hand in my life. So to
स्कूल में भी किसी को नहीं पीटा?
नहीं यार मैं कभी-कभी पीट के आती थी खुद. To be honest, I was not a bully. Let me just, I may be a bully right now, which my sister would agree to, but I was really scared that day, and so sweet of Aman to reschedule that because he felt like I was not ready for it, and it was one of the most difficult scene for me. First of all, I couldn't slap him. Like, how do I slap Shahid Kapoor? Yeah, like my slap would come here and it would just go like this. Just go like this. He's like, तू ये ले और
ये कबर्ड को थप्पड़ मार रही थी जो हमारे पीछे थी.
But Shahid, if I have to close the interview, I have to ask you. 20 years, it's not easy. Surviving in an industry which is almost 20. Please, Ishq Wish is love. Nobody's going to say anything about that film. I fought and I went to the theater to watch it. I still have the cassette tape and the CD which came. Hello, there was Ishq Wish love. Oh, dude, I can perform. You have no idea. That is love. You cannot ever get there. But how does it feel? Oh my God. I think saying your 20 years feels like God 20 years to us also watching that.
Yeah.
How does it feel? It's the toughest profession to be in. And I think probably people definitely do not see what goes behind the glam.
I think it's a big question, but I just feel like it's the best profession to be in and it's the worst profession to be in. If you have the capacity to be able to take the best and the worst, I think it makes you a very, I don't know, it can do a lot for you as a person. I think there are many lessons that you can learn. I think there's a lot that you're experiencing which can give you a lot of emotional maturity and a lot of clarity about life, or it can completely mess you up, so it can go either ways. It's that kind of job. I have worked very consciously to kill all the complexities and stick to the basics of why I came here and what I think life is about and what acting should and cinema should be about. And I think everybody gets so, because I'm speaking from my own experience, right? I'm guessing everybody's is different. But you get so engulfed and engrossed and overtaken and overpowered by everything that, like you said, is behind the camera, all the things that are going on, what people are saying, what's happening with you, and there's so much to deal with, and creative people are emotional beings, that sometimes it takes a toll on you and you lose yourself. And if you can find yourself in the middle of all that chaos, you'll probably be one of the strongest people you'll know. So I think that's what you can take away from these 20 years, that, be strong and get through the storm, and on the other side, it's very beautiful.
Are you doing Ishq Wish 2 anytime soon?
Me?
Please.
Me doing
Can
I think
Ishan?
Ramesh Turani was mentioning he wants to make it.
That's why I asked. I mean, guys, please, before we end this, please, by the time...
I know in my last film I played a college boy, but I think I'm kind of done now. Abhi college
Introduce Ishan, but please come in now.
Yeah, absolutely. Ishan, THakur, Ishq Wish 2.
Mrunal, before I close this, Shahid or Ishan, you're working with both?
Both, yeah.
I need one.
Oh my God.
Pick.
No, don't make a choose. That's not fair.
No.
नहीं ऐसे कैसे?
Both, yaar.
No, yaar, ऐसे कैसे?
Listen,
This is
in
not
fact,
done.
I'm praying. I told Ishan the same thing. I said, you need to work with Shahid. Ishan and Shahid needs to work
That picture
together.
is super hot of you two on your birthday.
Thank you.
I've already said it's too bad. Don't forget it. Stop fangirling. Not happening. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Pleasure.
think this probably, I was very nervous when it started. As you said, coming after long, I was interviewing like after good 1.5 months, and I'm like, thank you. I
Did
think
it.
this one will be
I
better
did
start.
it.
And please, guys, this blue is only for Jersey. So please, I'm making a note right away. But thank you so much for your time.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.